What's up, delivery fam? What's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome to another episode of Chop It Up Live. Yeah, that's what this is, Chop It Up Live. We're going to be chopping it up with the CEO of Stuvo, and also talking about him being an ex-Google employee and becoming a Dasher. All right? And as y'all know, I've been promoting this all week. Don't tell me that you did not know. There's going to be a giveaway. We're going to be giving away three $50 gift cards and a PS5. I hope y'all ready for all my gamers. If you are a PS5 player, if you don't have a PS5 or you want to get one to someone that has a PS5, give me a thumbs up emoji in the chat right now. Without further ado, let's get this conversation going. All right? Let's get him up on the screen. This is the CEO of Stuvo. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's your name and where you're from?
Hey, thanks UDM. Very happy to be here. So I'm Hans Fevry. I'm the CEO of Stuvo. I'm from Haiti. I moved to the US around 10 years ago, or a little bit more. And yeah,
Your
I'm so
accent is
happy to
still
share more
strong.
about Stuvo.
Oh, wow. Your accent is
I
still
know,
strong. It's been 10 years.
still strong. I'm still working on it, but trust me, you can't get rid of it.
Okay. I've been here since 1999, and I still have trouble at times talking in my accent and not letting certain words come out, but it tends to come out when I am literally like either like getting a little bit upset, you know,
Exactly.
I can't control it at that point, you know. So tell us a little bit
Exactly.
more about you, Hans. It's Hans, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So yeah, I was from Haiti. I moved to New York. I was living in Stony Brook, then in Queens and Manhattan. Then later I joined Google. That was my first job. So I moved to Poland and Europe. And I worked there in innovation. Basically, whenever someone at Google has an interesting idea, they would come to my team. And moving forward, I moved to California, where I work in the Google Assistant when you talk to Google. But while I lived in Poland, France, Germany, and then California, there's one thing I noticed is that people are working differently. Even if you have a full-time job or part-time job, or sometimes people are full-time gig workers, they rely on those short-term work, and it's different than before. But there is one problem I noticed is that those platforms sometimes will not optimize for exactly the amount of money you're looking for. So sometimes you will make enough money, other times you will not earn enough. So since college, I had this idea where I was saying there's so many apps that help you save, apps that helps you invest.
Hmm.
But if you don't earn enough in the first place, what about an app that can help you earn more and that can really tell you what to do to earn more? So
Hmm.
this is where I started Stuvo.
Okay. So let me just ask you a few questions here. All right. You
Sure.
said already that you've been in America for 10 years, right? And you got a job at Google. How long did you work at Google?
I worked at Google almost for 7 years, so it was
Wow.
a long time. So I was in the US, but basically, actually slightly more than 10 years. So it was a lot of back and forth when I was in Europe.
Okay.
But I spent around 4 years, 3 years actually, in Poland.
Okay. And while you were at Google, this idea for Stuvo just hit you like just out of nowhere.
No, actually, I had this idea to build something that will help people earn more since I was in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
In college, I was broke. Sometimes I would be overdraft,
You
and
preach
the
to the
banks will
choir,
keep.
man.
I know they put that minus $35 all the time, and
Yeah.
for me, it would be simple. Why is that I can't just find a way to make money quickly?
Mm-hmm.
And those apps, of course, back then they were not as popular, and even right now, if you can do DoorDash, you can do Uber, but sometimes if you don't do it smartly, you
Mm-hmm.
may not have the right amount of money that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So at Google, I was working there on a lot of technology and especially artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So I told myself, why can't I use the same AI technology to help me make better decisions? First, understand all the earning opportunities they are so many. So I want to know exactly what are all of those. And second, um, connect with my work account and know exactly what I should do. So I started doing Uber, DoorDash during my lunch break to really to
Mm,
understand the problem.
mm.
And I quit Google, moved full time to Stuvo, and then we're in beta so far, but we're launching pretty soon. So pretty excited about it.
Okay, so that was actually my next question. You said you did Uber and DoorDash, right?
Correct.
So for how
And
long?
Postmates.
Okay. So yeah, okay. So this is the question: how many apps did you have?
So I had the one that were really active were Uber, DoorDash, Postmates. I was also an Instacart, but I didn't really use that
You
much.
don't like
But
shopping?
for 1 hour, when you have 1 hour lunch break, it's pretty
Oh,
hard to
okay.
manage this.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
okay.
delivery, ride sharing were a bit more manageable.
Mm. You
Yeah,
did
and even
rideshare
recently I
too?
did. Yes,
Oh
yes, I did
wow.
ride share too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have
So
to understand the problem to really help solve it. So I think we like to build to say that we build it with gig workers, not
mm,
only for gig workers. So
hmm
I have to really understand the problem.
okay. All right. So approximately how long were you working these apps before you decided okay, now I'm ready. I think I've gathered enough data. Now I'm ready to go out and start Stuvo.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for the whole 2019, starting 2020, and even recently, I did a gig, but while I was at Google, I would say around a year and several months, and then the pandemic, COVID-19 hit,
Hmm.
and slightly after, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start doing it full time. Now I stopped during the pandemic because of all those craziness.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, when I was Google, I would say a year and several months.
A year and some months. So
Yeah,
you're
not all,
okay. Go
not
ahead.
every lunch break, but for a while, trying to do some gigs right in there.
That's cool. That's definitely cool to hear that, because some people don't put in enough time. From I'm just gonna be honest with you, Hans. It's like from my perspective, I've seen like some CEOs. They say, "Okay, we want to get the driver experience, right?" But then when they go out, they only do it for like a week, And I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
A week? What's a week's worth of information? That's not
yeah,
enough."
I know.
There's so many different factors that goes into how we go out here and make our money, when we go out here to make our money, and it's different times of the day, and it's yeah, it's so much
Yeah,
more than it requires so much more than a week than to gather enough information to
definitely.
figure out what drivers go through when they're out here.
Yeah,
So
and
go ahead.
different locations as well. You need to try different apps, different location at different time, and
Yeah.
really to understand what are the key challenges. For example, I remember one time I picked up a food at one restaurant and I went to deliver it at a big apartment complex. It took me literally almost 20 minutes looking for the right apartment door just to drop the food. And if you go somewhere else where you deliver only to houses, it might be very simple, right? You just
Right.
pull up the food in front of the house. But for an apartment complex, trust me, that's a
Oh
whole other
yeah.
story.
Oh
It was a
yeah.
maze.
Trust me, there's a lot of people in the chat right now. I want to see by the show of thumbs ups and thumbs downs. How many of you enjoy going to apartments? Thumbs up emoji if you love going to an apartment for delivery, and thumbs down emoji if you do not like it so much. Put it in the chat right now. All right, so go ahead and finish. What were you saying about the apartments?
Yeah, no, I was saying that going to apartment complexes, those are maze. So if you really want to experience delivery, so you need to try to do it a long time, but do it at different location, different time, different places. So
Right.
really to understand the challenges.
Yeah. Have you done any like office buildings, like say the 51st floor of downtown, wherever you are? Wait, but
Luckily,
before you answer that, what
yeah,
location? Where are you? Where did you dash? Where did you do these apps?
I'm in Sunnyvale, California, so
Okay,
Silicon Valley.
okay,
It's like 30-40 minutes away from San Francisco.
okay.
So I dashed around the Bay Area. Ride sharing actually brought me all the way to San Francisco, of course, when you have to drop people. So I would say around California,
Okay.
this is where I dashed.
Okay. So, okay, being in California, the whole AB5 thing made it. Was that a little bit easier to make the money you needed to make? I think I don't. I might not have a complete understanding of how that worked. So, were you guaranteed earnings by the end of the week or the end of the day?
Oh, at least when I was doing those gig apps, and I think still right now, there were no guarantees. For me, it's more like I turn
No
on and
guarantees.
start.
Okay.
When you mean guarantees, you mean they don't tell me I'm gonna make $500 and I make those $500. For me, I just pick it up and I make some money. So I
Hmm.
don't know what you mean by guarantees exactly.
Okay, I might be confused because I believe some dashers in California, they shared something like they made a minimum of. I'm just gonna throw a number out there. This is not the actual number, but let's say if the minimum is $15 an hour, right?
Yeah.
And there were certain stipulations where the person would have to work a certain amount of hours to get those hourly guarantees, but I think they would get the final pay by the end of the week. So if they were missing like $200 because it was just that slow that week, they would get the company would then add $200 to their pay to
On top of it.
guarantee the minimum that they would make per hour for the week.
Yeah. So when I did my when I was doing when I was dashing, and even recently, I didn't have that, or probably I didn't experience it or pay attention, but don't recall any guarantees.
So, okay, so did you work any late nights, early mornings? I know you were juggling Google and working these apps at the same time, but then you ended up going full time, right? You ended up going full
Yes.
time with the app. So, what was your longest day?
Yeah, so the majority were doing lunch breaks. So those would be 1 hour. So trying to do probably one delivery, two deliveries. But I started doing, after I quit Google, I started doing some DoorDash at night.
Mm,
And the longest time I did probably is 3 or 4 hours
okay.
uh, doing it straight. And so far, sometimes it works where you have a lot of demand. You go
Hmm.
there, and of course, I'm using as well the Stuvo app to try to understand, are we really accurate? Where are we missing out? And yeah, so far, it will really varies. One thing I've learned is that we started looking at some events data. For example, uh, let's say there's a big game. So we realized people would order way more when there's a big game at key restaurants. So since we have that data on Stuvo, I'll try to do DoorDash a little bit more and try to see the correlation between that data and how I'm getting some more requests, and
Okay.
use that information to dash smarter, I would say.
All right. So, before we continue any questions, all right, before we continue any questions, I want to at least get one giveaway out of the way, all right, because we do got to give some stuff away. So, at this time, we're going to be, family, what you're going to see is you're going to see a wheel. And when I put it on the screen, you're going to see that wheel is going to be spun by, I forgot the position. So, Greta, please, you don't mind me putting you on the screen, right?
Yeah, no. Hi, guys. Can
Okay.
you hear me? I'm the marketing manager, so that's my position.
Okay. Uh,
But let's go ahead and see who the first winner is.
okay. So,
Okay, Anthony.
Anthony.
Anthony
Cool.
Montoya. Okay. This is the first winner of a.
So, Anthony Montoya, you've won a $50 gift card. So, we will be in touch. We have all your information, and we will get that out to you. So, congratulations.
All right. Congrats.
Congrats, Anthony.
Congrats, Anthony Montoya. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now put that in your gas tank. All right. All right. So to get back to some of these questions here. All right. I want to know. All right. So something that we do in the gig community is like a lot of us. We tend to try to educate each other with good offers, bad offers, and whatnot. And I want to know what's the lowest offer you've accepted.
Yes, I think the lowest one I accepted was not in DoorDash actually. It was in Postmate back then, and it was $4. And
Okay.
remember the story about this apartment complex, and
Yeah.
it was then very similar to this.
Mm.
So I took the food, went to deliver it, and then I spent so much time. Actually, it was the only gig I did for the whole hour. So when you think about it, I just made around $4 per hour, and that's not even counting the gas,
Hmm.
other hidden cost. So that was the lowest I've experienced based on the time of the gig. Of course, if it was a gig for like 1 minute or 2 minutes, $4, then it's a different story. So it
Mm.
depends on the time it takes you.
All right. So since we okay, so you've never taken a $2?
Never. I've seen a lot of our users. Sometimes they report those.
Hmm.
You see that they ask you to do like a big gig, travel very pretty far, and then
Okay.
$2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the furthest amount of miles that you've driven for $4?
So for this one, it was not a lot of miles. I would say probably it was 5 miles. It was pretty close. It's the amount
Okay.
of time to wait for the food, get the food, and deliver it to the right place and find the right place. That took a long time.
Okay.
So in that case, for that $4, it was not really the distance that was an issue.
Okay. All right. So, all right, since we're on this, right? I want to ask you, what is the most that you've made, if you don't mind sharing, the most that you've made in a day, in the 3 to 4 hours that you would normally work, or the most you've made in a week, if you don't mind sharing.
Yes. So I don't know if I'm not as lucky as some of our users,
Hmm.
but at least the biggest payout I had for a gig, actually I have it in front of me right there, was $34, 34.75.
And what app was that?
So DoorDash.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse
Yeah.
me. I haven't seen anything that big on
Yeah.
DoorDash. the most
34.75.
the most I've seen is like $20 payouts on DoorDash. I've seen the $34 on Uber Eats though.
We've seen actually even slightly more than 34, but those happens very rarely, yes. But and DoorDash, I would say the average that we're seeing is around 8,
Hmm.
10-ish dollars
Okay.
for those deliveries.
All right, family, put your largest payout on DoorDash in the chat if you don't mind sharing. The largest payout, Hunt's largest payout is $34. Can you beat that? And catering, no catering. All right, if you're a catering driver and you got paid on a catering order, that don't count. It do not count. All right, so let's go on to the next question here. I do not have many questions for you. So, chat, if you have a specific question that you would like to ask Hans, just feel free to put it in the chat and we'll get to it as soon as we can, okay? All right, so let me ask you this now, Hans, about Stuvo, all right? How important was it, since you've done gig work for over a year and you kind of like took a break during the pandemic because of how scary stuff were out there and everything. How important was it for you to understand what drivers go through for you to launch your own business?
Yeah, I think first I had a very clear idea because again, I grew up in Haiti, and in Haiti, gig work is the norm. A full-time job is the exception.
Hmm.
So of course they are not as similar as DoorDash or Uber, but you will see a lot of people picking small projects all the time. So I have an idea of what the challenges could be. Now,
Really? I'm sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm like, what? There was gig work in Haiti for real?
So the way I define a gig work is like a short-term job. It doesn't have to be an on-demand
Okay,
app, right? It
I
can be a
got you.
short-term job to help a friend move something. It doesn't. Of course, we don't have the app like just like DoorDash or Uber
Okay.
or etc.
I
But
was about to
but I
say,
have
I'm like, what? Okay, all right, that's what's up. Go ahead.
soon, hopefully, because that would help a lot of people. But I realize that people in the US, they would face similar challenges if you have to pay your bills and you have a lot of financial obligations and you're relying on those short-term jobs. Then the biggest challenge you would face is income volatility. So you don't know exactly, and you cannot predict how much money you would make at the end of the month. So what
Okay.
happens is that a lot of users would, at least people I know doing gig jobs, they would take payday loans or cash advance and stuff like this, just to make sure that, hey, I can address a bill right away. So for me, the biggest question was like, hey, what if there is a solution that tells you first what are other opportunities than just those apps. Probably there's a small business out there that just want to hire someone for one day that pays you 10 times more than what you would have made with DoorDash. Or if you're doing DoorDash, probably there's a time in a specific location you should do DoorDash, and those stuff varies. And the learning, all my learning doing gig work with Stuvo, I've really identified exactly those challenges. There's a lot of challenges, and those challenges, especially when it comes to income, the way it's not predictable, at least was the biggest one, the one that's a lot of our users are complaining about.
It was you were asking me that?
No, I'm saying this is one
Okay.
the challenge.
Okay, that was one of the challenges. Okay, I got you. Because I'm like, wait, was that a question? Did I miss the question? All right. So knowing that you've been in the U.S. for 10 years, knowing that everything that you've said, as far as like the apps you've worked and working at Google, I want to know on a personal level, because I'm from the islands as well, right? I am from the Virgin Islands, but my parents are from St. Lucia, so
Nice.
I grew up in a Creole household, not necessarily the Haitian Creole, right? I could speak in the St. Lucian Creole, but it's very different. But
very
I was
different.
always jealous of my dad because he could speak to Haitians, and I'm like, what are you saying? I couldn't
Can you at
understand it.
least pick it up?
I'm
If
sorry?
I say something, at least can you understand some words or
Maybe. You could try me. Go ahead. Let's see.
okay. All right. So nou pal pale Creole kunya.
You don't speak Creole or something.
No, I think we will start speaking Creole. So almost.
Well, I'm not. Okay. So my father, he would understand that 100%. And I don't know where he learned it from. All right. Because it's just too different. It's slightly different from the Haitian Creole. So I want to know, coming from Haiti, all the devastation that has happened in Haiti, how were you able to go through that and then come to America with this and then get a job at Google? How were you able to like push through the devastation? Because I believe how many earthquakes hit Haiti? I think it was about 2 or 3.
Yeah, in 2010 we had a big one, and then last year there was not a big earthquake, and yeah, several, but the very big one that was devastating was in 2010. It was a 7.2 earthquake.
And you were there.
Yes, I was there. I was there on vacation for Christmas at my place, and yeah, it was terrible. And to answer your question, I think that changed my perspective. So growing up in Haiti, working at Google and have a good position there, and saying to your parents you're leaving to build a platform to help other people, you can imagine how many people are telling me I'm crazy, right? But for me, I think the type of impact I wanted to have, and we've seen a lot of things in Haiti that was a key motivation for me to know, you know what, I've acquired all those knowledge. Now I want to give back. Let me use that technology right now for good, for people that I know need it. Of course, I did a lot of great work at Google, but right now it's time for me to have an impact in the community directly.
That is actually awesome. Um, I've always wondered, I've always wondered what it was like on the island. I was in America when everything hit, but it's like I've always wondered. I did donate when they asked for donations, different places they were bringing stuff over, but I was like, oh man, I wonder what it's like for them. And then to hear your story, you've been in America for 10 years, then you come over here, then you get a job at Google. You know how many people want to get a job at Google? And I'm like, oh, you were like motivated to come over here. And then, I just listening to the story, I'm like, wow, it's very inspirational. I think it could inspire not just any other Haitian, but just anyone just hearing a story like that. There's so much that goes on in America and other countries, like everything that's going on overseas right now. Those types of situations, I feel like, it sparks some kind of drive in anyone, You know, if they've reached that point that they're like, man, I can't, no, I gotta go. And you know, next thing you know, you're here and you've launched an app called Stuvo. How did you come up with that name, Stuvo? I've been trying to look. Listen, I typed it. This is just a joke, right? But I typed it in the search, and it came up as stove. I was like, wait, it's not stove. So how did you come up with the name Stuvo?
So the name's Stuvo. So I was in college, and then we had this idea. We said, you know what, we're gonna build something that will help people make more money. So we didn't have any expertise yet to build the app. It was me and my co-founder, and we said, you know what, probably the idea will change. Probably we would have to readjust a lot of things. Let's give it a name that doesn't mean anything and that people can remember. So in the future, when we have to change the idea, we don't have to change the name. And since then, Stuvo stayed. And you can see the logo. The logo is a parrot. It's because before we were thinking that we're gonna help people in Latin America. We were not yet targeting the US. So the name stayed, the logo stayed, and here we are. We're still Stuvo. The only thing that's changed is that right now we're focusing on the US.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to take this time out now to do another giveaway. So Greta, are you ready? If you're ready, you got to clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Here we go, family. We're gonna get another winner. Here we go.
Okay.
Go
Are
ahead.
you ready? This is another $50 gift card. We have so many names too. It takes a while to get to one.
Hassan. What are you gonna do with that money, Hassan? Huh? What you gonna do with that money?
Hassan.
Congrats, Hassan.
$50.
Yeah. So I wanna get to the chat here. Some people are asking some questions. So
Can I jump in with a question?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay. UDM, I'm so curious. You know, you help people obviously so much on your channel with multi-apping and gig apps. I want to know, if you were to build an app for gig workers, what's one feature that you think would be really beneficial to you?
Okay. One feature I feel like that would be beneficial to me is where not to go. Is where that won't pay me. The areas that won't pay me what I think that might come out of it. For instance, like say a few years back, before Uber Eats, I got to be specific, before they started showing the payouts up front or the total payout, how they show it now, with the expected tip, I used to have to guess and make really good decisions as to who I would be dropping it off to. So I made my decisions based on location of drop off, not necessarily restaurant that I'm picking up from. So I would love to know where I'm going as to where I'm dropping off to versus where I'm picking up from, because sometimes the app glitches out. It doesn't show if it's an apartment. And sometimes, you know, it does it just depends on the device that you have. If you have an Apple device on DoorDash, you don't see if it's an apartment. Okay? But if you have an Android, they do have the floating widget and you are able to see some additional information in that. But as an Apple user, for all my Apple people out there, okay? All my iPhone users, because there's also this thing like, oh, Android's better. No, Apple's better, you know, on the channel. So for all my Apple users, as far as like, you know, just knowing where we're going to, whether it's a guaranteed tip or not based on the knowledge or the experience I've had, I would like to know where I'm going. Is it an apartment for my Apple device? Is it an apartment? Is it going to be worth my time? Right? Is it going to be a big tipper or not? You know, that information to me is very important for me to go out here, maximize my earnings for the time that I'm going to be out here. I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Good to know.
All right. Awesome. All right. So let's go to the chat here. I want to read some of this stuff where some people were putting some of the money that they've made. All right, and now let's see. All right, DoorDash pays over $25. Oh no. Okay, all right. So William Harmon says the most they've made in a day is
with Door
$350, not $3.50.
with DoorDash.
I'm assuming so because I believe that's the question I asked.
Wow.
With DoorDash 350. William Harmon, please correct me if I'm wrong. Some people put 55, 78. Somebody put -10. -10. JJP NYC says $254. All right. So how many hours did that take? All right. So they said all Sunday, Annapolis, Maryland. All right, 350. They worked all Sunday. All right. So let's see if I could find some questions here for you, Hans. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
Born ready.
All right. Oh, he's born ready. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I thought that Google would be a great job to have. Why would you quit Google? Is it that terrible to work for them? Wow. That's a hard question.
That's harsh.
Go ahead.
No, actually, it was really great working for Google. I quit Google to build Stuvo. So we got funded, we got some investment, and I got a team that joined me and said, you know what, we believe in what you're building. So I decided to build something on my own and have a direct impact. Yeah, I know that. I remember I called my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and I already quit Google, and I told him, you know what, I'm gonna build my own company. I'm gonna be helping gig workers, and I left Google. And he was like, okay, you know what, we need to talk about it. For him, in his voice,
Yeah.
you could see that he was very concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've learned a lot at Google. It was great. It's a great company to work for. But I think for me, what motivates me is when I talk to one of our users and they tell me, you know what, you helped me pay my rent. You helped me do XYZ. For me, there's more satisfaction in this than sitting behind a computer and helping another company become bigger and bigger than they already are.
That independence, huh? Independence.
Exactly, that flexibility as
Yes,
well.
yes. Okay, so we have another question from one of our contest winners. Hassan M says, what separates Stuvo? This is a two-part question. What separates Stuvo from its competition?
That's a great question. I think I'm very happy because that other platforms are doing the same, because I feel like there needs to be more awareness for gig workers that there's other ways for you to gig to be able to earn more. Now, what separates Stuvo is that Stuvo is not limited to those on-demand apps, those gig apps, right? As I was mentioning before, if there is another opportunity for you that is outside of those apps that's going to pay you more, then we will know, because we understand how much money you're making on average. We will know, and we will let you know. For example, imagine a restaurant that needs to put a lot of food in a box, and they're paying $150, and probably that work will take you 4 hours or 3 hours. It's better for you to go work for that little restaurant instead of doing your DoorDash or gig or Uber in that case. So Stuvo basically look at all type of opportunities for you and send it to you in a smart way so you can maximize your earning.
Okay. All right. So the second part of that question is I don't know what this is, but you're gonna help me out here, okay, Hans? What is
Right,
your
hopefully.
moat? MOAT? What is that?
Yeah, so I guess MOAT basically is what is something you've built. I'm gonna try to explain it. So what is something in Stuvo that makes it very hard to replicate? So let's say another company
Okay.
wants to copy Stuvo.
Mhm.
What will make it hard? As I was mentioning at the beginning, Stuvo, the way we're gonna help you, just like you mentioned UDM, you want to know where not to go, right?
Yeah.
So the way Stuvo can tell you such information is because we rely on a lot of data, and we train our artificial intelligence model that will tell you, that will make prediction, and that will tell you what to do and what not to do. So what will be very hard, and our moat is the data. We understand it's not only gig data, we also use TV data, we use restaurant data, so many data that we put together. And if someone comes in, it will take a long time for you to get the same amount of data, train the same model, to have the same accuracy, to change Stuvo. And for us, the most important one is how close we are to our users. We are not, as I was saying, we're not building for gig workers, we're building with gig workers. So most of the features we have right now in the app, most of them are coming directly from our users. They're telling us, you know what, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. And then we rectify, we improve, we change, we add more. So I think those two are the key modes for Stuvo.
Okay. So there's a possibility this app might say something to me like, hey, don't go over there, man. The last time they didn't tip you. Depending on the data.
They'll tell you know what, this Hibernian complex is going to take you too long. Don't go there. You're going to waste your time.
All right, so let's go to the next question here. Again, family, if you have a question, just put it in the chat, and I'll try my best to ask. Just keep it clean, please, because some of y'all be putting some crazy questions. All right, so do you have data for to military bases for gig work, and would someone who works 12 to 18 hours help you?
Yeah, so far I can't tell you exactly if we have data for military bases. The way we have data is based on regions. And for now, we're in California, and we're expanding to other states across the U.S. and then in a month or so. Now, if you work, let's say 8 hours, as you mentioned, or 10 hours or full time, it doesn't really matter because Stuvo, every hour, we give you suggestions. So if you want to work only 1 hour or 30 minutes or 24 hours. So you will always see suggestions in the app.
Okay. All right. So please forgive me, if there seems to be a bit of a delay because I'm scrolling through questions here and comments as well. So I'm also trying to screen them because I've had some people say some stuff. So let's see here. All right. Did you come to gig work with a mindset to start your business?
Yes. To be fully honest with you, the reason why I started doing DoorDash, Uber, Postmate back then, it's because I was ready to launch Stuvo, right? And I told myself, for me to build the right product, I need to experience it. So the mindset here was, let me go to those apps and set myself a target. Tell myself, you know what, I want to pay my phone bill. I'm going to do some gig work to see if I can get there. And if I don't, what were the challenges? How can a platform help me? And what should I build in that platform? And this was the mindset, and this is how we've been able to build Stuvo so far.
Okay. All right. So Star asks a question, says, will Stuvo target locally owned restaurants specifically for collecting data, or will national restaurants also be included?
So we are, I use the restaurant as an example. So far right now, we are trying to target a lot of small businesses, not only restaurants, that are hiring on a short-term basis. We are right now in California, but soon when we're going to be nationwide, we're going to target any type of businesses that wants to hire people on a short-term basis. And for us, what's very good is that with Stuvo, we built for you like a mini profile, a mini LinkedIn. So whenever you apply to those short-term jobs, you just send it to them. They can look at your profile, look at everything that Stuvo built for you, so they can hire you faster.
Oh wow!
More easily. So we make sure that we increase your chances of getting hired for those short-term jobs.
Okay. You know what? Before I ask the next question here, all right, let's. I think we should do another giveaway. All right. So you ready, Greta?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. Here we go. Let's look for this next winner.
Okay, we've got another $50 gift card. Julian Tucker.
Julian Tucker. I've never seen this name before, but congratulations. Congratulations. You probably got a different name on here. I don't know who that is, but Julian Tucker, congrats to you. Okay?
Congrats, Julian.
Congrats. All right, so let's see here. All right, so Forgot Drink. All right, that's the person's name. That's the
Forgot
account's name. Forgot drink. Okay. They asked, does the company have insurance for the worker?
So that's a very interesting question. So right now, what Stuvo will do is that we will show you a work opportunity, and you would work directly with the person posting those jobs, meaning that the insurance will have to come from the employer. However, we've seen that questions a lot, and thinking that, hey, should the worker in that case work for Stuvo and we just dispatch you to those small businesses, or just have those small businesses handle it? We're still thinking about it. Remember, Stuvo is still in beta. We're getting out of beta pretty soon, but this is something we're really thinking about very seriously, if we should completely handle it or not. But maybe to the users, to everyone in the chat, what would you like to see? Would you like to see Stuvo handling everything, and you have your insurance with Stuvo, your employment with Stuvo, and we just plug you with small businesses, or you just want us to connect you with them and they handle the rest? What would you prefer?
Yeah, that's a question for y'all. What would you prefer? Okay, put it in the chat so they could see, or in the comment section on down below if you're watching on the replay. Put it in the chat or the comments down below so they could see and probably respond to you. Okay, all right. So let's go to the next question here. All right. I lost it, Hans. This chat moves so fast at times, man. Okay, just trying to get this next question. Okay, all right. So it says, Erica Williams asks, not for sure what suggestions will the app give if I only want to work 4 hours. Please explain again. All right. So let me make sure I read this correctly. They said, not for sure what suggestions. Will the app, not for sure what suggestions will the app give if I only want to work 4 hours?
No, it really doesn't matter. Actually, if you want to work 4 hours or 1 hour, what the app will give you as a suggestion is where to work and how much you should expect to make. Even if, let's say, you use only one app, you want to work only in one neighborhood at only 1 hour, and then Stuvo would be able to tell you, you know what, at this hour where you're going to work for 1 hour, this is how much you should expect. So in that case, for you can make a smarter decision. If Stuvo tells you, you know what, I think you would make around $15, then for you might think, hey, does it worth it? Or should I just wait probably at night where I can make probably $20 or $25? So yeah, so I think actually if you work 4 hours, Stuvo can definitely help you.
Okay, so this is a really good question. I like this one here. All right, so since we know that Stuvo is in California, right? As far as specifics go, it's up to you if you want to release that information. But this question comes from Christopher. They ask, do you have an exact timeline for this to be released to the rest of the U.S.?
Yes. So right now we're working day and night, actually, and literally day and night. We don't sleep. To ship the app to more states. So starting May, end of April, you will start seeing Stuvo in different states. Now, when will Stuvo cover the whole country? Stay tuned. We're gonna announce that pretty soon. I don't want to make any false promise, but we're working very hard there. One thing we want is that we want to make sure that we have the right accuracy. So we don't want to launch too fast and we give you a suggestion that is not accurate. So this is why right now we are taking time. But we're gonna have a program for anyone interested. You can download the app and wait. We're gonna start having users who's gonna start testing Stuvo in those other states and tell us if it works or if it doesn't work. But don't worry, we're just gonna pay you anyway the amount of money you should make. So you're not losing anything, but you're just giving us feedback. So basically, you become like, this is a gig work from Stuvo to our users.
Okay, and so I'm gonna ask you this next question, and then I wanna test you on something really quick with the DoorDash offer I have. All right, and see if you would accept or decline it. Well, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to let me know what you're gonna do, okay? So this question is coming from Brad Jackson. How current is the Stuvo data? Updated daily? Those are two questions, but let's go with the first one. How current is the Stuvo data?
Yeah, so our data, we refresh it almost every day.
That's
Even sometimes, depending on when the data comes, even multiple times a day. Let's say, for example, traffic data. Traffic data comes very, very often. Why? Because we want to know what's the traffic. If you have a gig that's coming in one region, but there's a long traffic, probably that doesn't worth your time because you're gonna spend most of the time in your car. So we need that data as soon as possible. So that's one data that we really care about. Weather. Weather affects a lot of gig. For example, when it's raining or not, ride sharing will be behaving completely differently. So we need those weather data as soon as possible. And we have tons of data that's very interesting that we're noticing that have very deep effect on the pay. For example, TV viewership, all those stuff we're using them. But yes, we refresh our data very frequently depending on the data.
Okay, so I see it's not a question, but someone said something here about tip baiting. I'm gonna ask you this, right? I've seen a lot of situations. A lot of drivers across the nation have shared the like tip baiting situations. Do you know what tip baiting is?
Yep.
Okay, so since you know what tip baiting is, does Stuvo is Stuvo capable of aiding the driver in avoiding those tip baiting situations?
Unfortunately, we cannot right now, right?
Okay.
It's very complex.
Okay.
But that's something we're thinking about. But if you have any idea on how we could do it as well, let us know. But so far, with the current version, we cannot.
Okay. All right. So at this time, I hope you're ready, Hans. Warm up your hands, man. Warm up your hands. I'm going to put something up on the screen. Now, they have seen it already. So, family, do not put it in the chat. Okay? Do not put the answer. We're going to see how Hans is going to handle this order. This is a DoorDash order. Okay? This DoorDash order has 1 pickup and 20 deliveries, Hans. How much do you think DoorDash is offering this Dasher? 1 pickup and 20 drop-offs for like 40 miles.
40 miles. 1 pickup, 20 delivery. So if I look at the average that DoorDash will pay for 1 gig, around 6 to 10-ish, 1 pickup and 40 miles. Jeez. I would.
The reaction is priceless. Go ahead.
I know, right? I've seen crazy stuff, but this one, oh, man. So I would say around $120.
What?
That should be the one that's fair.
We gotta clap it up for you. You came very close. Very, very, very close. A lot of people didn't come that close. Man, wow. I gotta clap it up for you, Hans. The total was $125 for 1 item per drop-off. So we got to clap it up for Hans. We got to clap it up because, wow. Somebody said, well, $145, but, man, I would.
But I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it.
You wouldn't take it?
No, 40 miles, nah.
For 40 miles? 125? What's wrong with 125?
If you think about it, you have 20 drop-off. Right, and the way I came up with that $120 is because what I did is I tried to say okay, if you get $6 minimum for all those gigs, and then 20 drop off, so 6 times 20, so 120. So $6 is a very low amount of money, right? So if you stay the same location or go other way or other places, and you get around 20 gigs, probably you're gonna make more than $120. That would be my logic.
All right, well, I would have accepted it, man, just to be honest. We've already discussed this, but I'm like, I'm the guy that likes to. All right, so some people will decline, right? And a lot of people will decline, but I'm the guy that I believe in the concept of turning trash into gold, right? So if you listen to the concept, what I call it is turning trash into gold. Like some people won't drive 40 miles, right? Round trip, that's 80, right? So exactly. A lot of us go for $1 minimum per mile, right? So if they would see that offer come in, especially in an area like mine, let's say I see if it comes in as $8 going 5 miles, right? It depends on how busy it is, how slow it is. $8 going 5 miles, that's not $1 per mile, or it's not $2 per mile round trip, right? For me to get $1 per mile minimum. So what I would normally do in the case where, and let's say in this situation, if it wasn't paying, all right, let's just say if it was paying $40 for 40 miles, all right, not 125. If it was paying $40 for 40 miles, I would accept it, drive there if I wanted it, and I'm not coming all the way back home. I'm taking orders on the way back to where I started from, on my way back. Now, for me to make a minimum of $80 round trip, you know, and that's what I call turning trash into gold, because $40 for 40 miles one way is a lot of miles that's not enough pay. So it's like, if that's not enough pay, how can you make this work? Because certain markets, certain drivers, they need to do gig work versus any other type of work, or it might be difficult for them to get in any other type of work versus gig work. So it's like, I had to come up with some kind of concept to help them make money. Yes, you're going to drive those 40 miles anyway, especially if you're a full-time gig worker, right? I felt like, hey, you're going to drive 40 miles anyway. Just because you see $40 for 40 miles right now doesn't mean you're not going to drive those 40 miles. You're intimidated by those miles, but at the same time, that's $40 guaranteed right now if you take it. But don't waste your gas and everything else and just drive all the way back. The deadhead miles. That's 40 deadhead miles. We don't want to do that. So
exactly.
So anyway, so I wanted to at least hear your perspective on, and again, no one came that close. I don't even know. I guess because you worked at Google, man. I know it's a stereotype, you know, but it's like you worked at Google, so I'm like, yeah, you came that close because you worked at Google, man. You got a job at Google. A lot of people want to get a job at Google, and I heard the interview process is serious.
Yeah, it's tough.
All right, so
I think what you shared is pretty smart. I think it depends on the location, right?
Yeah.
So if those 40 miles, there's some activities around them.
Yeah.
So at least when you're coming back, you can pick up some gigs. You can do the math and see if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna drive 40 miles and you're just driving in the middle of the desert, let's say you're in Arizona, and driving completely to another city, then there it's risky because probably you want to get some gigs on your way back, but probably there is no gigs.
Yeah. And that's the gamble, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to take that gamble. So family, I hope y'all enjoyed Hans, right? If you don't mind sharing, how do you spell Hans?
H-A-N like Nancy, T like Tom, Z like zebra.
Okay, so, Hans.
It's like a German name. It's H-E-N-S usually, but my mom tried to be fancy. She did T-C at the end. So here you go.
Okay, so at this time, family, I know y'all been waiting for the PS5, right? The PS5. You know, we're not giving away a PS5. I'm gonna keep it for myself. Okay, I'm gonna keep it for myself because I don't have a PS5. My kids, you know, I got my kids downstairs. They want a game console. You know, y'all can just let me get it. You know, I'm just kidding, family. So at this time, I am gonna play a little bit of music so we could have just a brief little prepare yourself for this PS5 giveaway to see who's going to win it. So, Hans, you ready?
Ready.
All right. Hold on one second, Greta. Hold on one second. I know they want it. But I got to give some shout outs. So I want to give a shout out to everyone that joined us. We're approaching an hour, right? But I wanted to give a shout out to everyone before we announce this PS5 winner. Say what's up in the chat so I can say what's up back to you. All right, we got DB, we got Flower Lotus, we got Monique Milner, Gemini Gem, we got Star, Pop Pro, and obviously these are names that I don't know if you entered your real name. I don't know your real name. Okay, all right. So what's up, Dogecoin? What's up? What's up? What's up? Who else we got? Who else we got? Erica Williams, smacking AZZ. Some of these names, right, Hans? All right, Brad Jackson. We got who else? Who else? Christopher, Bud Soda, Rapping Granny Coupon, Food Delivery Stories. What's up? What's up? D Blaze. What's up? What's up? Tom Tom. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Okay, Vincent Rosas. What's up, Trey? What's up? What's up, Side Hustle? Edwin Perez, Prince. All right. Okay. I know y'all didn't come here to get shout outs. Y'all came for this for the giveaway, right? So, Greta, go ahead.
Should we go ahead?
Yeah.
All right.
Go
let's
ahead.
do it. The PS5.
PS5. Who getting it?
Hands on, by the way.
Michael. Wow. Michael.
He was feeling confident. He didn't even put his last name. It's just Michael.
He was just super confident. What?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Michael. Congratulations to Michael. Don't know the last name, but let's just say Michael.
Michael. All the Michaels on the chat right now are like,
hey, I'm Michael. Wait, that's my alter ego's name is Michael. So, hey, listen, definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hans, any last words you want to say to the family? I call them DFAM, and that DFAM is short for delivery family. All right, so any last words you want to say to the DFAM about you and the future of Stuvo, or, any appreciation for joining the stream? Go ahead, you have the floor.
Yeah, first, thanks so very much, UDM. And for the DFAM, I would say thank you guys for staying for 1 hour. And if try the app, try Stuvo. We have a chat feature. As you can see, we're gonna be very different in all the apps you've seen. We work very closely with our users. So go to the app. You will see a chat feature. You can talk to us. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what doesn't work. Anything. You can even talk to us if you're bored. You're doing DoorDash and you want to chat with someone. We're there. But yeah, we're in beta. We're gonna launch in more states pretty soon. We have a new version coming in a few days. So stay tuned, and I would like to hear from you what you would like to see. And yeah, we're working very hard. I know that doing gig work comes with a lot of challenges, and we know that. We've been doing some gig work. So yeah, we're there for you, and hopefully when Stuvo gonna be nationwide, we're gonna see all of the users in the chat using Stuvo.
All right, and Greta, any last words before we start wrapping it up?
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining, for listening to my elusive voice. And also just what Han said, we're just super excited to be building the app along with you. If you come to the chat, you might see me there. You might see a few of the other team members at Stuvo, such as Sibyl, Pierre, Wasey. And we're all really excited to communicate with you and to build Stuvo alongside you. So thanks for all your hard work. And yeah, excited to stay in touch. And thanks, UDM, for having us on.
No problem. So family, that is it. That is the CEO of Stuvo. That is the giveaway. I hope y'all use the money wisely, okay? All right? For all those that want money, use the money wisely. Gas prices are crazy, especially if you're out in Cali, okay? Use it wisely. And I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. I hope that we provided enough information for you to understand what Stuvo is. And I hope y'all got a lot of y'all questions answered. If you did not get your question answered, just leave a comment down below. And I'm pretty sure someone from Stuvo will probably answer. Okay? So with that said, appreciate y'all. If you enjoyed the stream, squeeze the life on the blast that like button. And here we go. Have a good night, y'all.